Wendy Serino, who's founder and CEO of North Shore Exchange. Wendy, first, I want to just say, hey, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Adam. We're so glad to be here.
Oh my gosh. So nothing that makes me happier than to have a return guest, especially one with a story like yours. So we'll get into today some of the, the growth of North Shore Exchange, some of the things that have gone on, virtual consignment going on now. I believe acquiring a new building, a warehouse, new grants that you've awarded to charities. I mean, now tipping the $3 million point in grants and awards given. I mean, you got a whole lot going on there, Wendy. But we'll start this episode the way that we start them all, with our Mission Matters Minute. So, Wendy, we at Mission Matters, we amplify stories for entrepreneurs, executives, and experts. That's our mission. Wendy, what mission matters to you?
What mission matters to me and to North Shore Exchange is to create opportunities for our communities to participate in our mission. And we are a unique combination of luxury consignment, designer shopping, and volunteerism to generate profits for charities that serve the poor. And consigners and shoppers and volunteers can all participate in our mission and feel good about giving back by either consigning, volunteering, or shopping. And we keep our overhead low with our fabulous volunteers. We're fiercely competitive against our for-profit resale shops that we compete against. We make sure that we have competitive pricing and better payouts than our competition. And then we give our customers a great value and a feel-good feeling every time they buy something, so they leave with the highest customer delight that they can have. So that's our mission, and our mission really, truly is just to generate profits to give away to Chicagoland charities that serve the poor.
It's a great story, and I love bringing mission-based executives and companies like yours on the line to share why they do what they do, like how they're making a difference, and what we can all learn and grow from together from those stories. So again, great to have you back on. And Wendy, I want to start this interview. So I was thinking about it last night, and I know that maybe some of our newer audience members that have been following the show recently, maybe they didn't catch our previous episodes and things that we've done together. So let's just kind of start from the beginning. Like, how did this idea of North Shore Exchange come about? Like, tell us some of the history.
Okay. So I have been doing a bunch of work for a bunch of different nonprofits, and I've been spending a lot of time asking people for money. And I was thinking about a new way to generate money that nonprofits need. They need operating revenue. They need funds for growth. And how do we do that? And there was this little thrift shop in the town I live in. It wasn't doing very well. And we decided, let's try a different concept. Wow. And so we came up with this concept, which is luxury resale. We sell designer women's fashion and beautiful things for the home. And we run with volunteers, so our overhead is low. And that combination just was right on trend. We got really lucky, right on trend. We had a great supply of wonderful things, and we had customers that were interested in what we had. And so we started 9 years ago, and we opened up on a snowy day in March in 2013. And we had a line of about 30 people outside the door waiting to come in. And we opened our doors, and we've made a profit every single year, even during COVID. Even when we had to shut down during COVID for a few months, we made a profit every year. So we feel very lucky that our business model makes sense to people, and we are offering things that people want to buy. And we have we offer a service of a way for people to sell their really nice things.
I want to stick in these early days a little bit longer here, because we'll get into where you're at now, which is just absolutely amazing. But I want to stick in these early days because there's a lot of, entrepreneurs and executives that watch this program, and they're looking for, whatever that edge is, or that thing that can also help them in their businesses, whether it's, nonprofits or for-profit, various industries, doesn't matter. But one thing that I know is that for you to get from that concept of, having a new store, trying a new model, to a thesis, right? Testing it out, and then getting it to execution, to then getting it to work, right? And to prove the concept. It's not an easy thing to do. So what do you think are some of the things that helped you take it from, let's just say, idea to reality? What are some of those things that helped you along the way?
I think what we did is we looked at a lot on why thrift shops and resale shops fail,
Mm.
what makes them fail, and then what makes them successful. And you have to start with a business plan. I had somebody come in and say, "Oh, I want to start one." And my husband says, "You need a business plan." I'm like, "You do. You need a business plan. You have to think it all through. You have to project what you think you can sell. You have to lowball what that is. You have to look at your costs and see if you can
Mhm.
make money. And you have to build it up from the bottom."
Yeah.
And so that's what we did. And we did lowball our estimates and we beat them every time. And that feels good to the team of people. But then you have to have people that love the idea.
Mm.
And we had a bunch of people come on board in the very beginning who loved the concept.
Yeah.
And that was very affirming. And then to build it and create it and then have customers come in
Mhm.
and love it, that was huge.
Yeah. And to be clear here, you didn't have a background in running a retail store, I believe. Am I
No,
off on that?
no, no. I've never run a retail store in my life. What I did have is I had a business background, and
Yeah.
I worked in product marketing for Kraft General Foods,
Yeah.
and I was a product manager and a marketing director for them. And I learned how to write a business plan. I
Mhm.
learned how to write a marketing plan. I learned how to do operations
Mhm.
and sales. And so I that was a really good basis for having the right skills to do this, even though I had never run a resale shop before.
Yeah.
Yes.
And another, I think, key ingredient that you mentioned here is really getting a community to rally around. I don't mean
Mhm,
just customers and clients. I mean also the individuals that are executing at the store level and
mhm,
helping day to day. So
mhm,
the
mhm.
volunteers. What do you think was some of the secret or the ability that allowed you to maybe to rally the troops, so to speak, towards that one common mission?
I think we had an amazing group of people in the beginning.
Yeah.
And we still have an amazing group of people. It's just grown. But
Mhm.
people wanting to lend their talents. And these are people that were lawyers, were social workers, were had big careers and now they weren't working and they had time.
Mm.
And they were like the Pied Piper. That
Yeah.
I had a bunch of Pied Pipers out there in the community talking about this idea. And it was just, you have a little elevator speech. You say, "Hey, we have
Mhm.
this concept. We think we have great supply here in Glen Cove. We think we'll appeal to customers. What can you do to help us?" And everybody rallied around to help us. They gave us donations of plumbing. They gave us
Mhm.
donations of flooring, carpet, painting, tiling, and we all it was a labor of love for a whole group of people.
Mm.
And I think that enthusiasm spread out from there.
Wow. Yeah, it's amazing, and I think the idea of having that mission behind that you could really make a difference, and then just in executing on that, like day in and day out, it makes a big difference, especially over time. Because I can tell you, and you may not know this about Mission Matters, but I mean, when we started, I mean, it was just myself, a cell phone, and some headphones, and I like to think that all of my initial interviews, all thousands of them before maybe anybody cared to watch, right? Thousands of them. That was my volunteer army of
Yeah.
business owners and executives that cared enough to get out about, paying it forward to come on a program that nobody listened to in the beginning, right? And tell their story and to lend their ear and to give their advice. And to help promote. So we had that volunteer army. So as well that you're mentioning. So I can kind of see some similarities there, and I see like how if you execute over time and you stay true to that mission, and if you stay true to what you said you were going to do, like some magical things can happen. And I speaking of magical things, I think that's a good time to maybe bring us up into a little bit more of present day, because
Hmm.
you've grown quite a bit. So maybe
Yep.
tell us a little bit about the growth over the last 9 years.
So we just have grown. I don't think we've ever had a year where we've grown
Yeah.
less than 10%.
Mm.
And this past year, during COVID, we grew 50%, which was the
Wow.
surprise for all of us because we opened our doors and we weren't sure who would come and who felt safe coming out
Mhm.
during that time. But we all wore masks. Our
Mhm.
customers wore masks, and I think that everybody felt safe in our smaller environment.
Mm.
Um, and so that helped. But then we grew 30% last year, and we're on track to grow another 30% this year. So it's we have learned to be pickier about the things we take. We want
Mm.
to offer a great selection. So there is that customer delight. So we're picky about what we take.
Yeah.
so that our consigners can earn the most, and they, they bring their best, and we can earn the most, and our customers can get the best value. So
Yeah.
we've just gotten better over the years. We still have a long way to go in terms of efficiency and effectiveness. We're learning every day, but it's working. And I think we laugh sometimes that we make money in spite of ourselves, because we don't, we have to learn what to do. We don't have any experts here, so
Yeah.
we do our best. We use our brains. We try to take the most prudent, pragmatic approach, and it works.
Speaking of, I believe, speaking of it working, I believe you're in the flagship store there right now. Am I
Yes,
right?
yes, I
And
am.
the items that you take, I'm looking behind. I'm
Yep,
not claiming I know everything, but
yep.
that tell us a little bit more about the store.
So this store, Glen Cove, was the one that we opened in 2013, and it's our biggest volume store. It takes in the most consignment as well, and it really sets the stage for the other two stores that are trying to catch up, and they are catching up. The city store and our new store are doing great, as they are getting established in their communities. But this store, got nestled in the exact right spot. Right
Yeah.
spot for both shoppers and consigners, and it's doing great. And it has a wealth of fabulous volunteers, and many of them have been with us from the very beginning. So
Amazing.
they've been here for 9 years,
Oh, what an
and we
amazing.
get lots of new ones too. But it's just that's the beauty of the community. And
Mhm.
what's interesting about that is we created a community of shoppers, a community of consigners, a community of volunteers, and now a community of grantees that we give grants to.
And so speaking of the grants, so you're just crossing that, or I shouldn't say just crossing, a little over 3 million. So 3,100,000 something. I don't have the exact number, but that's a lot of money you've given away. So I guess
Yep.
going a step deeper into your model, tell
Mhm.
us, a little bit more about how the profits are distributed.
Okay, so we're actually at 3.2 million. So
3.2, there you go. I knew, hold on. Don't want to short you 100,000. Hold
yeah,
on here.
3.2.
Yeah.
We have a philanthropy committee, and we have a grant application process. So we had 81 grantees apply this year, and that was up from 55 last year. So that our message is getting out,
Mm.
and then they go through a rigorous review process from our philanthropy committee. We look at their financials, we do site visits, we look at what they're going to use the money for. We look how big they are, whether they could absorb a grant, and we look at things like, do they need it for operating money? Because these charities need operating money. They need everyday money, and then do they have anything that they need to be transformative?
Mm.
And we like to do a combination of both. So this year we're giving 13 grants. 11 are operating, so it's the level of like $30,000 to $40,000, which they really appreciate. But we're giving two $100,000 grants this year to two organizations that have some ideas that are going to transform their delivery of their services. And I can tell you about one of them if you'd like.
Oh, please. Yes.
Okay,
I
okay.
wasn't going to let you get away with that. I'm like, hold on.
Well,
I need to know about.
I'd love to talk about Old Irving Park Healthcare Clinic,
Mhm.
and that is they're a new organization. We gave to them last year, but we're giving them $100,000 grant. And what's cool about that is the man who started it
Mm.
is 88-year-old Dr. Martinez,
Mm.
and he retired from being a doctor, and he joined with a friend to open this free clinic. And they're in this poor area of Chicago, and
Mhm.
they've been operating for about a little over 20 years.
Mhm.
And they've had times where they were worried that they couldn't keep their doors open.
Yeah.
And then angels fall from the sky. We were the angel this year that kind of fell from the sky and gave them a big grant, and they were thrilled. And what's cool
Mm.
about them is that for every dollar you give them, they
Mm.
generate $6 in free healthcare.
Wow.
So it's really impactful. They're able to do that because they have volunteer doctors, volunteer nurses, and really the what gets paid for is the lab fees and the
Mm.
janitorial staff and things like that. So our grant, they've been only operating during the week, and they have so many people that with childcare and work
Mm.
and senior care that they have to do, they can't get there during the day. So
Yeah.
they've been asking for evening hours and Saturday hours, and
Mhm.
our grant gives them that. So they will
Wow.
be opening their doors one evening a week and on Saturday. So they are thrilled with the opportunity to do that, and that helps them help more people. So that's we feel so happy about that. And
That's an
we're very
amazing number
excited.
too. I don't want to glance over that number.
Yeah.
So for every $1 given, there's $6 in impact. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's huge.
It's amazing. I mean,
That's
that's just
huge that
amazing.
they're
It
able
just
to pull
feels
that
so
off
good.
in
Yeah.
any business, period.
Yeah.
Like that's huge.
Yeah. 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 So we are so happy to help Dr. Martinez expand his care and love to the community that they're in.
Yeah.
So.
Any others that you care to mention
Yeah, well,
about
I'll
that?
tell
Like
you about
I'm hooked over here. I'm like,
yeah.
that's
So I'll tell you about Nourishing Hope, and that was previously just changed their name from Lakeview Pantry to Nourishing Hopes. They've got a new name, and they during the pandemic, their demand for food, they do give food to people, and their demand for food went out the roof, and then now with inflation and inflation prices, it's really hard for people to make ends meet. And they have a demand. And what that $100,000 is doing is it allowed them to open a warehouse. So they're opening a warehouse so they can do prefabricated meals, like they can put meals together and they can have more food and more food storage. And now they even have an online ordering system once a month. So you can get your weekly food. These are for people who qualify. These are people in poverty and people that, are below the federal poverty line. And they can go in and get food for their family once a week, but then they can order some of the special items like meat and milk and eggs once a month, and they can put their order in and then go pick that up. So it allows them to expand also to serve more people. And so we feel very, very proud of that too.
Yeah. And so when you talk about transformative, like you mean it. Like that's
I
huge.
mean,
I can't imagine like what that means for the community, for where Dr. Martinez serves, to to be able to have those Saturday hours or that one night a week when somebody may have been putting off, something that is pretty urgent, but they just can't because they have to work, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And they don't get easy time off. These people work
Yeah.
hourly jobs, and it's hard to get time off.
Yeah.
And then when you have kids at home, I mean, so this is really, really helpful.
Yeah, I get it. And it is transformative, and that's going to help many people in many lives. So I get it. And when you think about missions and people rallying around, it's pretty obvious to see with just these couple of stories you've shared today, why you've been able to, why the business has grown and why you've been able to give so much back to the community and back to these organizations and charities. I want to go into some of you did mention some of the growth, over the last couple of years in the pandemic. And I think one of the things that has just drawn me to your organization is that it's operationally efficient, meaning it is run like a business for growth, because you understand that the more profit you give, the more you can give away. So I understand that you've been that recently a lot of investment has gone back into infrastructure for North Shore Exchange. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and maybe some of the decision making that went on behind the scenes?
Yeah. So that's always tough for us, because if we spend money on something that it doesn't go to helping people. And so, we're very careful about those investments. And one of our first investments was a van. We bought a van because we needed to be able to deliver and pick up consignments. And that changed our business. And we try to really think about it in terms of where does it grow our business? And so one of the things we've been needing for a long time, we've been working out of storage lockers, and we invested in a warehouse. So we have a 7,000 square foot warehouse now. We just moved in there in December, and that's been a game changer. It's because we can take whole house consignments. We can take furniture, lamps, rugs, and everybody's clothes. If they're like we have a lot of people moving to Florida and they want to get rid of everything. We can take the whole thing because we have space now. When we get ready for our big sidewalk sale, that's our biggest sale of the year, where we make a lot of money at the end of the year, and we're able to store stuff for that sale, and we're able to move and make our stores look beautiful and make things sell faster and be able to turn merchandise faster because we have better access. So that was a big investment that happened in December. And my board has been great. They got pushed hard this year in terms of all the kinds of investments, but they were right there wanting to do it. The next one was we bought our Glen Cove building. Before we've been leasing our Glen Cove building. We've had really nice landlords. The Women's Library Club was our landlord, and they decided they didn't want to own a building anymore. So we bought it. And that was a big investment for us, but it really is existential to our survival. And the reason is it's uniquely located, and we're able to do our sidewalk sale right in the front under a big tent. And there's no other retail space that we could do the same things that we do in this Glen Cove space. And so we decided it was really important to take advantage of the low interest rates and buy the building. And so that's what we did. And then the last thing I should mention is we had one store at a shopping mall that it was doing fine, but it wasn't doing as well as it could if it would have been nestled in a community like the Glen Cove store. So we moved our third store to Wilmette. And Wilmette's delighted to have us. They've been welcoming us with open arms. We've gotten great volunteers, great consignment, and that store is doing great. So those were our three big things that we accomplished this year. It was a lot, but it was exactly the right thing to do.
So the Glen Cove store, obviously that makes perfect sense. So that, I mean, straightforward. I mean, and moving the other store, I can see why you'd have done that. But I just have to ask, was it a little scary when you thought, okay, we're taking on a 7,000 square foot warehouse? Like me, I'm trying to put it in my head. I know it's the right thing to do, by the way, but was it a little scary?
Oh, it's completely scary, especially because we didn't know how to run a warehouse. So
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like,
how do we run a warehouse?
That's a big piece of warehouse.
Yeah. But it's been amazing. It's been amazing right away. Like it just and it some interesting side benefits that you don't think. I guess unintended consequences you call them. I guess is that it's a place to collaborate. We didn't really have a place to collaborate and work together easily. And so it really has provided that. So I think that has improved our efficiency just because we can meet there, collaborate, and we have space.
Yeah, I can see that. And so this is like, all right, well, we went through this once with the van when we acquired that. We didn't know how to do that, right? And now we're getting a warehouse. Like as you add and build on with this infrastructure, it's great because that's how businesses build. Like the executives that are watching this and the other business owners that are watching this, they're probably like reminiscing. I know I'm reminiscing about, when you make those initial investments and then you kind of up the ante, right? Because you want to grow. And in your case, you want to make more profit and do more goods. So you can give more away. I think it's a great story.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah. So that being said, I also understand virtual consignment was another, like as we're all kind of thinking about different ways to operate and new ways to do business. I think this was a big one that was on the agenda, right?
Yep, it was. And it really stemmed from our sales are nationwide. So our store is our online store sells things all over the country. Some of our best customers are in New York and California and Florida, Indiana, Wisconsin, Michigan, Arizona. Like we have customers everywhere. They go on our website, and it's funny. They sometimes go in the middle of the night because they think something might go on sale. They'll be the first ones to see something new. And so we have these relationships with these really wonderful relationships. Repeat purchasers. And we thought, why aren't we doing that for consignment? Why aren't we? And, Zoom was a game changer for so many. Zoom and, Microsoft Office or whatever people use. And it's a game changer. And so you can go into someone's home. It's so much more convenient for them, and they can show you what they have. We can talk to them about what we take. We can talk to them about how much value they would get out of selling whatever they have. And it's so much easier for them. And then we can send them a shipping label and they can send it to us. Or we can send the van and pick it up because we have a lot of virtual consignments right around here too, because people are busy. So that has been a huge benefit. And consignment selling with us we have to have consigners and sellers because we don't order our merchandise. Everything comes from the consigners. And so we don't order anything. And so it was made sense with our growth to expand our base of supply. And a lot of people most people love our mission. They love that our profits go to charity and they're not for profit. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm a capitalist and I think we all need we need businesses to have profit, but if you're selling your things,
Yeah.
it's really nice to know that that portion goes to charity.
Yeah. And so I do want to go one level deeper on the consignment idea, because I don't want to assume that everybody watching this, if they've never consigned anything or been through it, like how does all that work? Explain it to me, please.
Okay, so we take everything from what we call contemporary brands like Theory, Schwab, Vince. The women that are listening to this, they'll know exactly what that is, all the way up to Chanel and Hermes. So we take from that and everything in between. And the reason we take that group of things is because they have resale value. If you Banana Republic, J. Crew, we love them. Everybody likes to wear them. They don't have much resale value, and so it's not worth a consignment store's time to sell something for $5 when the consignor would get $2.50.
Yeah.
Like so we try to maximize the value for the consignor and for us. And so we have a whole list of brands. And then it's the same with the home accessories. We take full sets of china, full sets of crystal, we take silver, we take decorative objects, we sell a ton of art, furniture. I'm sitting at the dining room table in our Glen Cove store, so we sell a lot of furniture. We can't keep couches. And if anybody has a couch they want to consign from Restoration Harbor, Crate and Barrel, Mitchell Gold, whoever, they fly out of here. Like they fly out of here in 2 seconds. And they get top dollar because people are thrilled not to have to pay retail for a nice sofa. So that's how it works. And so we do a virtual consignment. We do home visits. People make appointments and they come in. Home items, they can send photographs via home@northshoreexchange.org. If someone has home items, they can send photographs and then they get approved, and then they can just be brought in, or we can pick them up. So that's how it works. And then we pay fast. So if something sells in the first month, you get a check. So if you sold it on the 5th, you'll get a check on like the 2nd of the next month. So you get your money fast. And that's very gratifying. So that's really how it works, it's that simple. So you can go to our website and look at all our requirements and make an appointment. It's easy.
So how do people get involved? Like whether they want to be on the consignment side, or whether they want to shop, whether they want to volunteer. Like, so now we have an idea of the community and the ecosystem, the history. Like, how do people get involved?
So if they want to consign, they can go to our website and make an appointment. And if they want to volunteer, they can also go to our website or stop in one of our stores and talk to the manager and say, hey, I would like to volunteer. And we have a lot of shoppers and a lot of consigners that end up volunteering because they like what we do. And so that's how you get involved. And then if you're a customer, you just look on our website or you come in our store and then you kind of get to know us. Like we do a fall flip and a spring flip when everything is new, and people love that. And they come in and we have sales, and so we put out an e-blast every week that features items. So if you wanted to be on our e-blast list, you can just go to our website. You can get it added to that. So it's really easy. It's really easy.
It's great. Great story, Wendy. Well, I just have to say it has been great having you back on the show and to catch up and to see all the great work, and also to hear more about the awards that'll be granted, the transformational grants that are going out, and the operational grants. That being said, Wendy, what's next? I mean, what's next for you? What's next for North Shore Exchange?
So we want to get into the estate sale business. We think we have the expertise and the infrastructure to do that with our software system. And so we'd like to expand into estate sales because we think we can offer a unique value and also help get people with estates more money for their things. And we want to expand our website, number of items, reach for that. And we think that's going to make our business grow a lot. So we're hoping to do those two things, plus get more efficient. We're always working on that.
Fantastic. Well, can't wait till the next time you're on the show here. And one more time for the audience, the website, if they want to go check it out.
It's northshoreexchange.org.
All right. And we'll put that in the show notes, of course, as well, so that our audience can just click on the links and head right on over. And speaking of the audience, if this is your first time with Mission Matters or engaging with the platform, we're all about bringing on entrepreneurs, executives, and experts and having them share their mission, the reason behind their mission, why they do what they do, how they're doing it, and what can we all learn and gain and gather so that we all grow together. If that's the type of content that sounds interesting or fun or exciting to you, hit that subscribe button because we have many more mission-based individuals coming up on the line, and we don't want you to miss a thing. And Wendy, again, wishing you much more continued success, because I know the more success North Shore Exchange has, the more money is going to be given away to these charities and are really going to help a lot of people. So thanks again for coming on the show.
Adam, thanks for having me.